Welcome. It's glad to have you back. And today we're talking about how advisors are using content to become micro-influencers in the retirement space and why it's working consistently. I'm Patrice Sikora with your host, Rebecca Hourihan. Rebecca, it's good to be with you again.
Thanks, Patrice. Excited to talk today about this term that I think a lot of folks have heard before, an influencer, but it's probably not as common in the retirement plan industry. But I think in today's conversation, we're going to embrace that term, which might feel a little uncomfortable, because that's really what we're trying to do, is to help you become known before you walk in the door.
I love that. And you, my dear, I would consider you an influencer.
Oh, thank you. That's very sweet of you.
And you are in that space. So tell me, you say you want to be known before you're needed. What do you mean?
Today's day and age, when you have already developed an online presence, you've developed thought acumen, when folks can go, I think I know you. All of a sudden, you're no longer this, who is this person like trying to sell me stuff? You're more thought of as, oh, this person's experienced, they're knowledgeable, they know what they're doing. How can I work with them? And that changes the entire relationship. When you walk in, you shake hands, they go, hi, oh my goodness, it's so nice to see you again. And you go, in the back of your mind, you're like, we've never actually met, but I'm really glad that you said that.
But it's trust. They trust you.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
And why? Because they know you?
Yep. They know you, they like you, and they trust you. And that's kind of this holy grail. Now, when you start, take a moment, AI. Okay, today, anyone can pop online and ask questions in this beautiful ChatGPT and whatever the next iteration is. They can't hire ChatGPT, though, to be their 321 co-fiduciary or their 338 investment manager. They still need an advisor that they can actually have a dialogue with who has experience. So if you start to position yourself online as that person through email, social media, digital marketing, now they're saying, oh, I have this resource, the internet, that I can go to, but I need a person that I can turn to and workshop some ideas. What's the best plan design? What are the investments? Are we moving all to CITs? Let's talk about it. Let's document it. Let's be prudent about our practices. So you have to remember and have to think ahead. We are in a complete apex shift right now with ChatGPT, with online, but not with personal relationships. So take that as your aha moment. So how can you elevate yourself, your brand, your professionalism? So when you do walk in that door, people say, nice to see you again.
Nice, nice. And they're coming to you for information, for education?
It kind of depends on what that company is going through. Right now in different states, as we all know, there's different state mandates. Maybe the employers want to move forward with those. Maybe they don't. They want to set up their own plan. Right now in America, we have a lot of conversations around inflation, budgeting, housing crises. How are folks preparing through financial education? Like, how are they taking care of themselves to make sure that they understand how all of the money that they get every week, every month, whatever their payroll period is actually being maximized. At the same time, we're in peak 65, which means 11,400 baby boomers every day are turning age 65. When should they take Social Security? How do they consolidate their accounts? Are they financially ready? We've been talking to a lot of folks lately who are in that transitional phase. It used to be called the red zone back in the day. It's kind of that age 55 to 65 moniker. They need to practice. How are you helping those folks practice retirement? You just don't wake up one day with an entire inbox full of being needed and meetings and compliments and Zoom calls and, jumping from phone call to phone call and meeting to meeting. Like, So I just sit on the porch now? Like, what do I do? You gotta practice. So the point is that, to your question, every company where they are has a slightly different need right now. And to have that uncovered in your dialogue is crucial, so that way you can set them up on a plan towards success.
What I'm hearing you say is, again, it's education, it's information. You're not selling anything, but how do you do that?
Yeah, great question, Patrice. So education sells. Blanket statement, education sells. Education positions you as a person who understands that you can provide a solution. When you're on LinkedIn, make sure that here's a quick example, do like a 2-minute video. 2-minute video, talk about a topic. By the way, if anyone needs scripts, we have scripts that are compliance approved, which is pretty cool, with a lot of different broker dealers. We also have complementing, you know how we always talk about the link section below?
Mm-hmm. Right, the show notes.
So we have complementing guides around that. So if you wanted to learn more about plan design or student loan matching or how to establish a financial wellness program, you could record a quick 2-minute video. And then you could say in the links below, and then have that guide. So now you're creating who you are, you're framing your face, and then you're also providing education. Not selling, but you know what that just told you? Those folks need help with that topic. And talk about a beautiful way to fill your pipeline with topics that they actually need to know about, which means they need an advisor who's going to support them.
That is so true, so true. What are some other topics would you suggest?
Oh my goodness, there's a gazillion.
I know, I'm sure there are a lot, but give me a couple.
Yeah, fiduciary plan governance is always kind of the holy grail of the retirement industry. So how are you documenting your processes, whether that's establishing a charter at the beginning, an IPS, consistently reviewing it, and then going through all the initial stages of, I think of it as an employee arc, if I'm being honest with you. So eligibility, enrollment, then investments, QDIAs, do you have a self-directed brokerage account? And now retirement income. So how are you helping folks decumulate all of those savings that they have over those years? And there's so many great companies now that are starting to really focus in on the decumulation side of it while still in plan. So that's another thing that is new, but also so needed. Other ideas around financial wellness, and then, of course, Secure Act 1 and Secure Act 2.0 being big topics that you want to address.
Good stuff, good stuff. Now, I would suggest, having worked with you for a while now, I think I can say this, you plan, and that is the correct thing to do. You plan. You can't just say, oh, I'm going to talk about so-and-so and sit down in front of the camera like, oh, here I am.
Right.
It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that.
No, you have, there's a lot of behind the scenes kind of thought process around it, strategy, coming up with good partners who are going to help you along the way. And then how do you take that and then deliver it? So execute it as well. So are you sharing it via social media? Are you sharing this out on email campaigns? How are you asking your partners to redistribute it on your part as well? Because you need to get eyeballs. You need to get traction on the great work that you've put together. And I think that's something that you really have to, have you ever heard of the Kolbe Index? It's KOLBI, and it's a personality test. And it talks about where people like to, they get like fired up and excited about it. Okay. It's not bad. It's not good. It's just, this is who you are. So the first one is on fact finding. Some folks like to do deep research. Then folks like to plan to make it happen. Then folks like to execute, so their quick start guide. And then there's the follow through. So as a business leader, as an advisor, I think a lot of folks have heard of the Kolbe Index. It's become very popular over the years. Where are you in that? What are your numbers? And then who on your team complements your numbers? We'll put it in the show notes, by the way. So if anyone's interested, it's so powerful to know what you love and where you don't. Because when you understand how to create and distribute content, you need people who are going to pick up the pieces where you might not be a star performer or star student. I bring that up because a lot of times advisors get so excited, the quick start. I just want to get going. I just want to do it. I just want to do it. And then when it comes to the follow through, who's responsible for that? Who's finishing the task? Who's submitting it to compliance? Who's setting up the emails to go out? Who's making sure they're designed beautifully? Who's making sure that the SEO on your website is properly connected so that Google can index and crawl and make sure that you're getting all of those search engine optimization credits? So that's why it's important to have a balanced team. And if you need help, you hire for it.
Sounds to me like you're talking marketing here, too.
A little bit. Well, hello, marketing. Just a smidge of marketing. It's business development and marketing. They're synonymous. This is the early stages of the business development side of it. So if you think of your funnel, this is that interest, that awareness. It's not quite when you've shaken hands. This is all before it. So that way when you're showing up, you're already known before you're needed.
And it takes some of the burden off of your shoulders. You have something out there. Someone says to you, oh man, I really need to learn about this topic. You can say, I have this podcast you can listen to. Go for it.
It's, I think about how if you want to have lunch with someone, right, you can only really have lunch with how many people at a time, and have a real dialogue.
It's one-on-one.
Right. Like a real person dialogue with lunch. It would be the two of us, having turkey sandwiches together and chatting. But your marketing, what you're sharing out there, your emails, your podcasts, your videos, webinars, your thought leadership, your content, you can distribute that to thousands of people.
Right.
And it's the same concept of having lunch one-to-one because they're interacting with you on a one-to-one relationship. And that's that exponential multiplying effect that really great business development campaigns can provide for retirement plan advisors.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And it makes it so much easier. And it's almost enjoyable, too. You say, oh, I've got this. And you're showing them, you know what you're talking about.
Right. And so they go from like slightly cautious, and then they're like a little curious. And then all of a sudden they're like, I like this. This is interesting. By the way, guys, I don't know if you can see this. This is a stick-on. Everyone knows I have a 3-year-old.
That's right.
So we were playing this weekend. So I have a toucan.
I wasn't going to say anything. I
do not have a real toucan tattoo, but my daughter this weekend.
Kind of cool, actually.
Mom life.
Exactly. All right. So go ahead.
I was just going to say, to get started, some of the best things that you can do is to just grab a pen and write down the top 3 questions that your plan sponsors are asking you about. Whatever they are, whatever those topics are. And then sit down with your team and say, hey, we want to create some content that answers these questions. It can be a video. It can be a couple of slides. It could be a fully designed guide. It could be an article, something like that answers those top 3 questions, and then share that with the world. And that's just a beautiful and simple way to get started thinking and putting yourself in that thought leadership position for your local community.
And don't get into the weeds because it takes the fun out of it.
Yeah.
It really
have
does.
some fun with it.
Yeah.
I love infographics, just visuals that are infographics to kind of guide the journey. You do need help from someone who understands how to translate text into visual storytelling, but it's an amazing opportunity there.
And in fact, then go find that person. I'm sure they have a podcast out there.
Yeah. Also, selfish plug, we also help advisors
there you go.
with differentiating themselves. But yes, there are tons of very professional, wonderful graphic designers. My team is also amazing graphic designers too.
So it sounds like you have a lot of resources that advisors can tap into.
We do, yeah. We have an entire content library, or content portal as we call it, that has consistent ongoing materials that advisors post and share. So it positions them ahead of time as that original thought leader. And then we have a ongoing content portal that has tons of guides and presentations, employee education, and a new AI sales assistant. So you could type in there during custom communications with those prospects and say, how do I position this? So that way it pushes you farther into, oh, that's interesting. I want to learn more. Click. And then there's a resource guide that you can include.
All right. Rebecca, as we wrap it up, how would you suggest somebody starts? I mean, you've talked about it basically, but let's some good call to action here. How can someone start?
You have to think of who your target market is. So what size plans do you want to work with? Start there. Then you have to understand the psychology of that business owner. Are they a small business owner? So they have 95 hats in front of them. Or are they a large HR professional who has also 95 hats, but they're different hats? So you want to really start with who is the target persona that is your ideal client. Step one. Step two, go back to that top 3 list. What are the top 3 questions that those people are asking you about and need help with? Then translate that into how are you providing actionable resources and guides for them? Really them. Sometimes when we're doing marketing exercises here at the office, we will have a person, like a real human, and we will put them up like on our whiteboard and we'll say, how can we help Cheryl in HR make sure that her life is more meaningful? And we will actually run through that and say, these are the things that she's struggling with. This is how you as a retirement plan advisor can help her specifically. Then share with the world. Post it on your blog. Send out an email communication. Use social media and LinkedIn to multiply your voice. And then, of course, we're in a regulated industry, so prior to that, you have to get everything compliance approved.
True, true. Oh, dear compliance. We do love compliance, don't we?
Just part of life. Right. We say that compliance makes, we are friends with compliance, and compliance makes it better.
Indeed, indeed. All right. Well, folks, you've obviously heard some wonderful, informative hints, tips, thoughts here. And this is what you get in Rebecca's podcast. So make sure you follow it and share it with others. And thanks for being with us.
Thank you so much for listening to today's 401k Marketing Podcast. Click the subscribe button below to be notified when new episodes become available. The information covered and posted represents the views and opinions of our guest and does not necessarily represent the views or opinions of 401k Marketing. The content has been available for informational and educational purposes only. We hope you enjoyed.